Indian business leaders in the Arab world. He mentors entrepreneurs, CEOs, and startups on creativity, mindsets, and purpose driven growth. He comes armed with design credentials from NID and business insights from IIM Ahmedabad and the free spirit creativity from Rishi Valley and Corpus Christi. So here is Sajit unboxed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for that lovely introduction. Now I've got to follow that up. I won't waste too much time. The topic, I think, for the overall for TiE this time is celebrating entrepreneurship. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be sharing a bunch of stories today, not so much about points. I'm going to be covering it over 6 chapters, featuring a bunch of failures and things which went wrong. So I'm going to celebrate failures today and run it across as a story. So a lot of you see the perspective from entrepreneurship. Second, there's an insight into branding, and I'll be ending with the topic all of us are discussing a lot about AI and how we are using AI for good. So I'm going to start off with 2001. I got married, old-fashioned, traditional arranged marriage. Wife was born and brought up in Dubai. And I think I got my passport after marriage. And I went to Dubai for the shopping festival. And I went with this very, very negative mindset when I went to Dubai. I had passed out from NID, went to IIM, was working with a mentor for 4 years. And I had this negative mindset when I went to Dubai. I remember my father-in-law saying, give me your CV, let me try and get you a job. And I was like, no way. I had this fear that people who go to Dubai will forget their soul and only think about money. And I had this fear, I'm going to look like this if I go to Dubai. So this was my fear, that this happens to people who go to Dubai. And I went with this perception in 2001. And I guess it was really right place, right time. When I was in Dubai, and that was a shopping festival when a lot of big announcements happened in Dubai. They were speaking about the Palm, there was the first freehold, there was the free zones, there were hoardings all over Dubai for Media City, Internet City. So my suspicion was this is a city which is about to shift. And I did some homework, and some of the things I got from the industry is that nobody paid for design. At that time, the printers would make the logos. There was also some amount of a racial perspective on design. The perception was that the Western expats or the Lebanese are the creative people. Most of us who are Malayalis would do printing, and that was a perception when I did the market study that there was no money at all in design. And we had shopped to settle down in Ahmedabad, went to IKEA, done up the whole thing. And I told my wife, let's consider Dubai, we'll go to IKEA. If they take the products back, then we'll consider Dubai, otherwise we'll go back to India. So I guess my future was really based on IKEA's return policy. Luckily, IKEA being IKEA, it all worked out. And I went to my boss, my mentor, to say I'm going to shift to Dubai, and he was livid. His predictions were people who go to Dubai will take a job and you'll never be an entrepreneur. His second prediction is you'll get well paid, and his third prediction is you're going to go and get fat. So he got 2 of these right. The job I took wasn't well paid at all, and I quickly ballooned up and looked like this. I discovered KFC and Toblerone and Snickers. I think in 3 months, this is what I became. And the job I took was, again, like most Malayalis use some relatives contact, somebody called somebody, I got a job in an ad agency. And that also had very archaic rules. Dubai was also shifting. At that time, the employer could put a ban on an employee for the sake of it. So I joined a company which had that environment. They'd pay salaries when they felt like. Newly married, I was broke, disillusioned, and was having coffee with one of the team members. And I told him, look, I'm actually a designer. I'm thinking of starting off something on my own at some point. And he was like, why don't you start? Let's go ahead. But again, no confidence. My father-in-law was in trading, ship handling, no contacts in my field. And I got a random phone call that day from a friend of mine. And he was from Ahmedabad, and he called and said, I've moved here, and we should hook up. I'm looking for friends. So I said, yeah, sounds good. So when I asked him what he was doing, he mentioned that there's a radio station launching, and they met the top agencies in the world, but he didn't find that spark in the work. So I guess I really wasn't thinking. I said, I have an agency. can I pitch? I don't know where that came from. I did industrial design, worked with corrugated boxes, was going to pitch against the biggest agencies. And that's me. I went, bought my first Mac, went back to IKEA, and I bought a book on advertising. And I had to pitch in 2 days. And I guess my sweet spot was really bad jokes. As Nisha would know, in school, I would say the worst jokes. So I built a campaign around my strength, which was full of puns. Bollywood was my sweet spot. And when I presented this project at this place, everybody in the room seemed to like the crazy thinking. Each person called me and connected me to a client. And I'm sharing this to say that this became really our marketing philosophy. That how do we get clients so happy that each client is going to give you 4 more clients. So this, once it took off, that became our marketing strategy to date. That how do you make clients your evangelists? That every client should get you 4 more clients, if not, something is wrong. And we went on at that point, and I set up an office, and I said I need a team. So I'd gone to Bombay, like all Dubai people, I said I should go to Taj, get a conference room, and look like a Dubai company. Went through the full interview, didn't find anybody, was super frustrated, and I was talking to a friend of mine called Ayaz. Ayaz is a junior from college. This is how he looked like then, he still looks like this. Crazy guy. And Ayaz told me that there is a student called Roy who's passing out, and he sounds like the description. Now the problem is, Ayaz and me were massive pranksters in college, and Roy, who we're interviewing, was the butt of most of our jokes. Now from Roy's perspective, that's Roy. I was calling him with Ayaz and saying at night, there's a company in Dubai and you got a job. And Roy's first reaction each time is, nice try, and he would hang up. So my first employee hire was a 1-hour conviction saying, it's not a spam call, it's not a scam call. There's actually a company, it's in Dubai, and you're actually been hired. And then we got Ayaz, we convinced him also to join. So I set off with a bunch of juniors. And I'm going to share a picture, again, serendipity. I was doing some work with corrugated in IIM Ahmedabad, and I built these life-size dinosaurs. And that's Roy, and both these guys were helping me cut it when they were in college. And we were again back together. So these guys came to Dubai, and we set off. And I had these wrestlers on the table when they joined to say that we will not only try and please the client, we've got to fight for what's right for them. That's the philosophy with which we'll start. We started off with everything because, contacts, flyers, stickers. And we got this client who wanted to do rebranding, their marketing head, but the whole board was against the rebranding. So we had sold the products, found a massive gap in their business model, and we used the branding to fix it. I walked into a room with 8 angry people. You know those presentations where they're trying to escape and say, forget it, we don't want it. They're there for politeness. By the time I had shown the business model, they all stood. We got a standing ovation because we showed them how the brand can solve their business problem. And I came back to the team and said, this is it. This is a good differentiation. It's a blue ocean. So I've done management and design. If we blend that and create a company which solves people's problems. So we started doing this. And I had this mentality at that time, maybe I was young, I would take a project brief and just say, yes, I'll figure it out. So there was a mall in Dubai which had no budget. They were competing amongst the biggest brands in the world. So I came up with the idea saying, I'll build the world's largest shopping trolley. And we would say, okay, we'll go back and figure it out. Their budget at that time was $10,000. We had a pitch against, again, the biggest agencies for Global Village. I'd say yes and come back and say, we'll figure it out. JVC wanted retail stores in Africa, which will be built in 2 days. I said, yes, can be done. So this is just some pictures of, that's the shopping trolley, which we got the Guinness Book of World Records. I actually went to all the shops and convinced them to give one product that one customer will win. There was no budget for the client. This went in the news. We had the rulers ask us to bring the shopping trolley. We got the DSF awards for the most innovative promotion. And that was the Global Village where we designed this complete costumes and the whole parade for it. We won the account. And the environment was full of pranks. I think we continued being like a hostel. We'd have pranks like there was a piece of paper and the team we would call a client on speakerphone. The team would write a sentence and I had to pull that into the next sentence and not lose the client. So it was very weird kind of projects. They would put slides which didn't have any meaning. So now We were known in Dubai at that time to be innovative, quirky, super unreliable, never on time. So we started building a reputation which was like all typical design studios. And it started looking like this. Everybody started putting their own stuff, and the whole office started evolving till I woke up one day and said, I think we're a hostel. We're not really a design company. It was a massive wake up call. We were there, we were playing cricket, we were doing what we wanted, pulling pranks, and I decided to completely rebrand. So we got into a process where we bought in Kaizen, we got a coach, and I said, let's redo the office. And we made a list of what is a dream office looking like. And the team started coming out with the craziest ideas. Somebody wanted a bunk bed. Ayaz had gone to a rain dance and he saw these strobe lights and the water falling. So he wanted strobe lights in the bathroom and he wanted to call it a piscotheque. Somebody wanted bunk beds. So I said, yeah, let's do all of this. But it sounds like it's a massive bungalow. But I said, let's do this in the same office. And then I convinced my wife that can we move the office home, because one of our vendors said 10 days I'll get it done. That's my daughter clawing around. And we broke the office down. 10 days became 20, 60. The vendor took the money and disappeared. We were stuck at home. I think we lost most of our clients, and we wanted to keep the team what the space looked as surprise. When we pulled it off, we had this whole thing where everybody came in blindfolded. And we managed to do all this in the office. So the bunk beds, we built this massive concrete studio, we had this cafe. And if you see on the top left, I didn't ask anyone to wear jackets, but the next day suddenly everybody felt like wearing jackets because the office stopped looking like a hostel. We rebranded, made our logo look a lot more cooler. I'm not showing the old logo, it was that ugly. So this is what Idea Spice became. And we started focusing on second generation SMEs, because 90% of Dubai was SMEs. In that, it's the Indian diaspora. In that, it's Malayalis and Sindhis. And these are two people who don't like to spend, which means the other agencies weren't looking at them. So we started focusing on giving value to these communities. And we started focusing on the kids who have gone out, understand marketing, and want to change. So we started looking at change management. I started picking up a whole bunch of new skills which can help me. Neurolinguistic programming, I went for coaching around the world, started picking this up, and suddenly we would bill for branding, but we were really doing coaching and transforming these companies. And this, as soon as the results started happening, people started talking about us. There was a few rules we said, if we can't meet the CEO, we won't do it because you can't make a change, which meant no more multinationals, only SMEs. We said we won't pitch. I think we were the first people in Dubai to say we can't pitch. And word started spreading like wildfire. We grew rapidly. And I come to the next part is the mistakes which I did, that when you grow and you feel that everything's going right, a lot of CEOs go into this field that you're invincible. At that time, I felt that growth is, I'm going to start looking at top line. I'm going to be the next WPP. And I said, let's go rapidly grow. And we started going into every single geography around the world. I did verticals. I opened up in Australia, in US, across India. We were doing operations in China. I opened a fit-out company. I was just rapidly opening it. I think in a way to also drive a personal ego and to look at the top line. And we did this massive 10th year event where I wanted to show, like all Dubai companies, how big we are. I booked the Emirates stars and we were working for some tourism work. They called and informed. We got double the space, double the menu. Another client, we were doing DSF. They flew down rope dancers, tilt walkers. So it looked like $1 million event. We got all our clients. I hand wrote letters. It was a brilliant event. So that was the event. But I kept hearing in the next few months, clients saying, I had a project for you, but I didn't want to waste your time. So I think the perception we gave was they were all proud of the journey, but they felt that we've outgrown them. So I think completely wrong for our target audience of SMEs. I should probably have done a paintball event. It was too much of vanity. And then I started to say, our clarity had gone, the quality went, core competence went, we started losing clients, and there was a massive wake-up call, and I realized it's very easy to start. Exiting profitably is super tough. I think it took 5 years to come back to our core and return back to a space which is asking a bunch of counterintuitive questions. So I said, let's go back to 1/10 of the team. But I said, is it possible to do 10 times the billing we were doing? It's exactly opposite. Can we do 10 times the quality while doing 10 times the quantity and 10 times more impact? And this was some super tough decisions. We also went the domino way to make a differentiation. We were the first design studio which gave every single date up front. First meeting, second meeting, handover, put it in the calendar and say that we are going to stick to that deadline. So it took a bunch of years to get to that. We reduced the cycles of work from 12 weeks to 4 weeks, which I don't think any branding firm had done. And we also started doing something called internal tax. Every bill which came in, the accounts department would tax it and move it, which started getting us a massive amount of cash flow, which helped us to start saying no to projects. Now, we also said from now on, we are always going to remember that we are a startup. We never are going to get to that mistake of suddenly feeling we're too big. Got to change that whole mindset. And our focus is about transformation. How do we work with SMEs, transform them? And our business cards now, we've got, when you meet a client, I give a currency and say, we're going to help you make more money. This got featured in How Design US in the top 10 cards. And this is what the office looks like now. We've got this black horse, which I tell the team that we were running till now. Now we're going to start galloping. Because it was looking too corporate, I got the horse in to make it a little quirky. And we got featured in the top offices in Dubai, which felt nice from a journey of starting from IKEA to getting to this phase. And I'm going to show you a quick case study of how branding impacts design. This is a 100-year-old company in Bombay, a friend of mine, who was doing cement tiles, and like the Parsi cafes had it. It was a fading business, and it was opened 100 years back. They had done one branding. It was called Bharat Flow Tiles. We started revamping it, studied how the tiles were laid, and we renamed it first as BFT, and we rehauled the complete company. We also looked at the business model and found a lot of wastage because they have so many designs. So all the collaterals had mixed design. We wanted to make mixed patterns, so you use the wastage. We started doing a whole bunch of collaterals to make it look like a global firm. And we started tying up with some of the biggest architects in the world to use them as influence. We made them design tiles. We designed tiles also for them. That's Sandeep Khosla, Tanya Khosla's wife. We got them to do collections. This suddenly started becoming a lot cooler. We did exhibitions which were really budget friendly. And that's how the brand started growing. We did tiles which were based on Indian architecture. And a lot of these symbols are India-based. Now, if you see Social, which is the coolest cafe, and if you see, we managed to get the mixed tiles, the wasted tiles used. So that's Pali Hill. All the top cafes in India started using these tiles. Now it's a massive transformation. Just a quick one to show. And I'm going to show you one more about how AI was used in design. This is Ritu Dalmia as one of the top chefs, and they got a location in Dubai, in the most prime location in Madinat. You go by boat. And they wanted to convey the fact that you have authentic flavors which are across generations, which is how she does her food. We named it Atrangi. And so how do you show this? How do you show grandmother's recipe in a today's environment? So I came up with the idea saying that can I use AI to show grandmothers doing really cool stuff to position the brand? Because you can't do a photo shoot for this. So this is, we had done a full amount of visuals of really fun aspects of our grandmother doing to position the brand. And this is really wacky. And we had to really have a tough time convincing Jumeirah Group that, no, this is going to work. They were against this, but I was quite stubborn, saying this is going to create virality. And this started becoming coasters used in the space. The ad campaign was all built. When you close the bathroom door, there's a grandmother saying, I know what you did inside there, or holding a toilet paper. People were taking pictures, sharing it. Now it's got a Michelin star. It got the Time Out top Indian restaurant in Dubai. So just a quick case study to show that. Then we landed up with growth. We would say it for fun. I landed up, that's my handwriting, which became the brand for Dubai. And it was really the evolution of a brand where we started by saying that we are going to be a company. When people said hire a Britisher, hire a Lebanese, I said, no, we're going to stay true to our roots. I'm a Malayali company and I'm going to stay that way. And we managed to do this without pitching purely on the definition of this. This became the whole strategy for even dividing how Dubai is marketed, how it went around the world, how it was positioned. We did the Ministry of Happiness. That was something to unite the 7 Emirates. So we were doing strategic work for the Prime Minister's office. That's the mental health campaign to get people in Dubai to speak about mental wellness, to get the locals to speak about it. That's the digital currency for Dubai. So we were suddenly doing these exciting projects. That's Bollywood Parks. I think we were the only agency who took up the project because they were only low-risk files from Bollywood. There was a 25-day period to do 1,200 artworks. So we're the only guys who pulled it off because we had the systems to do this. That's the F1 cars. We did all the work for Dubai Mall. That's the Abu Dhabi F1. I'm just showing you a quick snapshot of a bunch of projects. It's been 23 years, 2,500 brands. Now there's systems, there's a leadership. And slowly, I was not required in the company. So there was the whole system of what do I do next, which is the last part or the last story, which is when the book Secret came out, I was super excited with the concept of affirmations, manifestation. And there was one story about this gentleman called John Ashraf in the book, and he's unpacking these boxes and he finds a vision board. And his son asks him, what is this? And John Ashraf is explaining a vision board, and suddenly he starts to cry. And his son says, why are you crying? Because John Ashraf suddenly realizes that the magazine cutout he had years ago was the very house he was staying in, and he didn't realize it. So I really love that story. I did a bunch of homework. Over the months, I reached out to John Ashraf. I was just stubborn. I had to reach out and learn the science of manifestation. So I went through a coaching program. I started applying it to my own life, I guess my weight loss. And I did 7 years of research on the topic that how do you simplify this? I think a lot of those things in my own vision board started coming true to the date which I wanted. I went through hundreds of books to simplify and code success. I did coaching with Anthony Robbins, Jack Canfield. It was really about this. How do you simplify the principle of success? I then started teaching vision boards to kids, I think thousands of people, but saw it took 2-3 hours to get the past mindset. And then I experimented with a client of mine. He was my personal trainer. And I made him make his vision board. And I did a format for people who couldn't lose weight, where they visualize the future, then work backward. All my NLP I built in. I designed a gym which uses NLP. And people started losing weight. He is now a multi-millionaire. He's got 600 clients, 40 trainers. I think the most famous. So once his experiment started working, then I started asking bigger questions. Can I use technology and help people to design their future? Can you simplify what success is? And the stat worldwide, I realize it's one of the biggest problems in the world. Everybody has dreams. Some of us have small dreams. Kids have dreams. I want to travel somewhere. I want to lose weight. I want to quit my job. But the stat is that 92% of people don't act on their dream. You see New Year resolutions. People forget by the second week of Jan. Gym memberships, by February, there's a 92% drop. Failure rates of startups, you will see 91.5% worldwide. So I had this very ambitious thought that how do I take this on? It's a global epidemic. Can I really simplify this? And then if I can do it, you've got something which can take on the world. So I started digging in further. And I looked at 2 areas. There are dreamers who have a lot of dreams but don't take action. And all of us, we have small dreams for ourselves, for our kids. Kids don't have clarity on stuff. And there are people who've forgotten how to dream. When we were interviewing, a lot of people said, I don't know, I don't have any dreams. So the idea was, can I take dreamers, make them doers? Can I take doers and make them dreamers? If I can crack that, you can get people to live a limitless life. I built the first MVP. It took me 2 years, and users hated it. A big hit in my ego. Then we started simplifying the model, and I got something where I combined the coaching principles, started building language models which could actually have empathy. And many of us spoke about AI. How do you build guardrails, and how do you create something which listens to you? It's interactive, not prescriptive. Took some of the best coaching practices from around the world, and I started getting into prompt engineering myself, building bots, letting it respond. And we built an interesting model which was very unique, which combines, like you said, it's got generative AI, it's got text. We built agents. So for example, if you have a dream as a student that I want to open an organic cafe, it will take it, it'll understand, it'll take you 5 years, break it down into one little step every day using a science called optimal discomfort from Harvard, which is the first day they'll say, make a Pinterest board. Just start there. Next day, list out cafes you like. Apparently, the agent is pulling in articles, videos, and is gamifying it. And I've built an AI model which is your future self coaching you. So you're talking to your future self, which starts to learn and it gets super hyper personalized. So we're now calling it the first transformational platform which uses AI to turn dreams to reality. I was very lucky to get Unlimits and trademark it. I wanted a verb which is like Google, which is how do you unlimit your life. We got the .com, and that's Unlimits. We sort of positioned something. All the biggest apps are at, like Calm just does meditation at 3.1 billion valuation. Headspace is 3.8 billion valuation. But we said, let's go high on personalization and allow someone to pick whatever dream you want. And we started building stuff to break down every single dream under the world. And we said, let's do the look and feel so it looks like the coolest apps, make it look as easy as streaming, not like a coaching app. We looked at building pathways that allows people to dream the way you want to dream. And I've started now working in the last 15 days, probably gone to almost 20, 30 universities, doing workshops with kids, helping them how to sort of change it. We built these audios. So that's how the look is. We built a model where you are coaching yourself. Your future is drawing you and building you to the future. And I'm going to share a manifestation story. I use Paul McKenna's books to transform my fitness. He's the #1 mind reprogramming coach in the world. So when I started, I put a picture of him on the app saying the missing piece is how our past programs our future. And my co-founder is from Mind Valley. He's the head of Mind Valley coaching. So when he came, he said, how come Paul's picture? So I shared the story. And he said, make a video of it. Let's WhatsApp it. I've met him once. Paul called up in 5 minutes saying, it's a sign from God. I'm in Dubai for the first time. We met. I showed him what we have done with the empathy models. And now Paul's come on the app. We've got the #1 coach in the world creating modules as an advisory board. And I'm going to end also with a quick video of, like a minute video of what Unlimits is. We've just launched 3 weeks back. So I think it's the first time we're sort of getting on a public platform. So I'll get the audio up. Ready? Good? So yeah, that's Unlimits. And I'm going to share, this is my manifestation. I have a habit of being stubborn till my dreams come true. So by 2030, I want 1 billion people to take their dreams and make it come true. So I guess I'm sharing it with the confidence of becoming a unicorn, and I'm sharing it here. And it's happy to be able to share this presentation in Kottayam where I did my schooling. And for those here in the audience who want to convert and move their life from someday to today, I'm just sharing the QR code of the app. Try it, give us feedback. That's the app. And we've launched, our team is iterating rapidly. We are, I would say, 2 months away from the perfect product market fit before we rapidly do the marketing. Till then, I'm going to as many unis around the world, all the way to Stanford in May. We're doing Sweden. So that's what I'm doing besides doing the other marketing. On that note, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sajit. So just a question. I don't think your handwriting was anything great in school, right?
No, it wasn't good at all.
Yeah, and imagine it someday shaped a country's branding. And that's Sajit for you. From unlimited to limitless thinking, we wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Due to paucity of time, we're not going into question session.
I'm around.
If there's any question you have for the audience?
No, I'm honored to be here. Love the caliber of all the talks and presentations and super inspiring people. A lot of people I worked with before. So I'm honored to be here. Thank you, Nisha, for inviting. And thank you so much, guys.
Your unlimited dreams have certainly nudged us. Thank you, Sajit Ansar and Dr. Nisha Josmani.
I'll wait for gifts.
I would like to call upon Ajut Mupin, Chairman, MN Holdings, and TiE past President to come forward and give a memento.